And I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And today we went and saw Killing Them Softly.
Which I actually got a little bit of a prelude to this story. Because due to, complications, we both saw it at different times. I went to the matinee, and I'm kind of waiting for, them to come out with, a DVD audio track on any movie. Have the old people commentary. I'm kind of waiting for that, oh, he's in this movie? What? Oh, they didn't need to show that. That was kind of violent. They don't know. Oh my god, he just died! How long before they come out with that audio track for the people who don't catch the matinees anymore?
I don't know. But you had that audience. I hate that audience.
Well, no. It was two audiences. It was actually kind of sad. It was that audience, and then it was the balding guys in their late 30s, early 40s, going up there with, huge things of popcorn to themselves. Single, yeah.
Yeah, with those single guys alone, their only friend is a giant,
thing of
42-ounce soda and a thing of popcorn, a tub of popcorn.
But not just any popcorn. It was the popcorn, they have little shaker things, it's put this cheese salt stuff.
The specialty,
yeah, they're some guy.
Spice.
Yeah, and I was just both two guys on both they're both one seat away from me, but just both put this sad man cheese dust on their popcorn.
They're probably looking at you. They're probably like, he's one of us, or he will become one of us.
He has it on his lap. He turns want some popcorn?
Looks like you got no friends. I have no friends.
Yeah.
Reaches his hand slowly out towards you.
No, that didn't happen, but I was almost kind of halfway expecting it, but yeah.
You go to the restroom? So how'd you like the movie?
Are you on the MySpace? No one uses MySpace anymore.
You want to come over my trailer tonight?
Yeah. It's down by the river.
I got a Blu-ray player hooked up on an RF switch on my TV. It's not the best picture quality, but we can watch the special features together.
Yeah. I don't actually have the movie. All I have is the special feature discs.
They only give me disc 2.
Anyway, so that was my audience. Was your audience all right?
Our audience was... It was it had a couple of those solo people, a handful of old people, and then some of those 30-year-old people that yeah, I don't have a job, so what? The movie theater.
By solo people, I'm not saying nothing wrong going to movies yourself. Just these guys.
No, it's the sad solo people.
The sad solo, yeah.
Because I actually personally like seeing movies by myself at the theater. It sounds like the weirdest thing, and you're really afraid the first time you go. Yeah. But then when you go, it's oh, this is actually this is not too bad.
You don't want to do too much, because you might become those guys. It's literally a sad Bruce Springsteen song come to life as they walk in the door.
Yeah, it really is.
As he walks down the movie theater all by himself,
Carrying in a liter of soda.
Yeah. So, that's more new Bruce Springsteen, I'd say. But yeah, anyway.
No, the audience here wasn't too bad. Actually, you know what? This goes back to the last movie, but this is something I want to mention. For the Red Dawn one, the Red Dawn audience was very interesting, and I don't know why we didn't talk about it. I think because I forgot. But I just remember we went in there, or when I first got there, there was a couple guys sitting there, in camo. I don't know if this is just their regular outfits or they dressed up for Red Dawn. And then just some of the other people came in. There was a couple, older women, solo older women. And then there was kind of, one of those, wannabe man, lesbian power women came in, somebody who probably works at a fire station or as a police officer. Spirit had such a straight, just the audience for that movie was interesting.
When you think about it, you get all the people who like Call of Duty who are probably never going to join the service. Then you get the people that actually do join the service. Then you got all the people that are ooh, Chris Hemsworth is in the movie. So
you got people that grew up on
Red Dawn. Yeah, like us. So actually, I didn't grow up on it, but people that just like the original a lot to go see it. So yeah, I guess that was really that movie. I guess you could market to almost anybody. Really,
it really was. Well, that movie was that movie was really. Josh Bullock was the guy who showed me all. I guess because he wasn't really allowed to
always say the names of these people that nobody knows of.
No, yeah, but when we were kids, I guess he couldn't play as much video games and stuff, but he just sat around and watched a lot of satellite TV. So he knew of all these great movies he just kept showing me. He's like, here's Boogie Nights, and check out, Clockwork Orange, and
in the 4th grade or
Red
5th grade.
Dawn.
Is this 5th or 6th grade?
And SLC Punk. No, this was later on. This would be 7th, 8th, and up.
No.
And I swear, because he just would watch all this shit, and then he'd always find all these weird animes and stuff too. It's just if you got no time and you got a lot of, time to sit around and watch TV.
Type of stuff you see like on Action Channel, like at midnight or something like that.
Yeah, just like, it's like he was just there. He like saw just all these good movies and just had like this research knowledge of television and movies.
Wait, remember Action Channel? A lot of times they wouldn't even be consistent with showing the animes. Like, oh, we kind of forgot to show it this week. Here's this random one from '86. We think the guy who made Ghost in the Shell made it. Maybe. Here you go. And they'll be like, oh, here's 2 episodes of Hellsing. Like, what about next week? Oh, we don't know. We'll get back to you on that,
Yeah, I remember
it was always very random.
Well, a lot of them, they just showed a lot of the short-run series, like stuff that only had like 4 to 8 episodes or something like that. And you would get those all in a row. A lot of times would just show them in one night, You could watch like New Dominion, Tank Police, and they just show all 4 episodes or 6 episodes, whatever there was. Like, bam, 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 bam.
I remember Star's Edge was showing Black Lagoon, not the...
the hell is Star's Edge? I don't think I had Star's Edge.
There's a couple of different Stars channels.
Is that a new Stars channel?
New-ish, I guess. I don't watch TV anymore, but it's just going back probably like 4 years ago. And there's Stars had one called Star's Edge. I guess they'd show the edgier movies or something. And they would show like anime every once in a while. One of them they showed was Black Lagoon, and that's not the old horror one. This is the anime, which is about a group of mercenaries out in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So
I guess I just never. I guess I stopped watching TV before that channel came out.
They were very random. They wouldn't always show them, and I don't remember them at least showing them in order. They just come on like straight. Like sometimes they'd have it, sometimes they wouldn't.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, that actual movie we saw.
Yeah, Killing Them Softly with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I will definitely say, like, it was a little bit too much of a talky picture. It was really the two-man talk. 90% of the movie, I thought, was just 2 guys talking to each other.
That's really what it was, and I kind of figure it would be that. I'm kind of at this point where it's almost like... I'm not angry. I mean, back when if I saw this back in high school, I'd probably hate it. But now I'm at this point where... I kind of understand from a marketing angle, you got to show the 2 action scenes that are in the movie in the trailer. Only way you could probably sell a movie like this.
Yeah, because it really was. There was bits. There's probably about like 8 action scenes, and when I say action scenes, I mean more like these action scenes weren't super long. But,
somebody gets shot and they leave.
Yeah, somebody gets shot, somebody gets beat up, somebody gets thrown.
Which that part where Ray Liotta gets the shit kicked out of him. Not gonna lie, that was actually usually I can watch scenes where people get punched around like. Whatever, but that scene, it was like, that was actually kind of hard to watch, because you see a full-grown man breaking down in tears, getting punched in the face.
I just felt so bad for Ray Liotta in the movie, because he just got like, it's like the first scene he's in, they has that scene that they show in the trailer where like they walk into his house and you just hear like fighting and breaking shit, and then he gets thrown out the back door as the camera keeps panning, and throughout the whole movie he just was getting like shit on the whole time.
And then there's like, oh, well, turns out, after they kicked the ever-living shit out of him, it's like, turns out he didn't, like, stage this whole robbery. Let's kill him anyway,
Yeah, it's just like, I just felt so bad
Let's wait for him to be out of the hospital, when he's starting to, like, regain hope, and when he's starting to get his life
back together. Let's not kill him while he's in pain and misery. No, we want him to get back to being a normal Joe.
When his soul is starting to rise, and then...
Where he's about to go back to work and, start his regular life again. That he's tried a couple times already. You gotta give him credit. He's a pretty hard worker. Like, when shit goes bad, he keeps coming back to it.
That's true, yeah. What else are you gonna do? This movie, one thing we gotta say, this movie, I guess you can say the main center point of this movie is greed. And a lot of it, I think a lot of people will say, I'm not saying this, but I think a lot of people are gonna say it's kind of like anti-Obama, Republican propaganda, which I don't think so.
The thing is, because they put that 2008 election is always playing through the entire movie. Like, whether it's on TV, whether it's on billboards, or whether it's just on the radio in the background even. It's always about, like, the 2008 election.
I think more than anything, not so much, the election, yeah. But
I mean, it's more Obama, but...
They acknowledge the election, but I think it's more than anything, they're acknowledging it's the beginning of the recession.
Yeah, well, they're already in the recession in the movie.
Shit. Yeah, they were, but because that's what you more heard about. Because whenever you
that's why you don't take apart soda cans.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll just fucking man that out. I just cut my finger on a soda can tab, but fuck it. Anyway,
remember tab soda?
Yeah, I do.
Just picture that, and that wound will go away.
Anyway, fuck. Oh, Brad Pitt wouldn't stop a podcast even if he was bleeding, so fuck it. All right, here we go. So, but no, the reason I say the 2008 election is, the election's there, but I think the main reason the recession, they're kind of really getting the recession across is because they weren't always talking about who's going to do good, McCain or Obama. It was always, they were always talking about the recession.
Everything was always the recession.
Or Wall Street.
Or Street, people in debt, people out of work. It was all based off like that kind of thing. And because a lot of it was like Bush was in the background talking on TV. Mm-hmm. And things like that. But it started with Obama, with like that interesting where it kind of like cut between Obama clips of his sound.
That looked like the beginning of like an IFC movie.
Yeah, and then it like would stop the sound, no sound, go again.
And like part of the title appeared like killing, like sound, like Obama's speech, then soft, you know.
Very jumbly and quick and cutting.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that parts of the movie would actually get I give this movie a lot of credit. I really enjoyed it. The talkie aspect didn't bother me, and I was kind of figured it would be one of those.
I knew it was going to be kind of a talking movie, but I guess this is the one thing I always have to say about talking movies. It's just probably one of the most difficult things to do is to pull off a really good movie where you just have two guys talking to each other all the time.
In this movie, I thought it did a pretty good job.
I thought it did a pretty good job. I thought there was still a little bit too much talking. I don't know. I just didn't think the conversations were as important. And it wasn't like a Quentin Tarantino. Because see about Quentin Tarantino is sometimes he can talk about like shit that has nothing to do with the movie, but you're still very interested. This one, some of the stuff they're talking about, they really didn't have too much to do with the movie. I guess
like James Gandolfini's wife and all that.
Yeah, when they started going into stuff like that, I mean, it's not bad. It's still, I mean, obviously it's really well acted, and the dialogue is good. It's not like it's anything bad, but I think it could have just been broken up a little bit more.
I think something this movie may have been trying to do is try and be, say, kind of like a late 70s, early 80s like action film. Like it was almost kind of like just beaten up and left out in the rain. I don't mean that literally because the movie's raining the whole time.
The movie is literally raining the whole time.
But I don't mean that literally just for the location. I just the way it goes, because there's probably like, we got to bring in a specialist. We got to bring in James Gandolfini's character. And then you see him walking through the airport. They're like, oh, yeah, he's going to kick some ass. He's going to do some shit. And then the whole time, he's
really like the Marlon Brando. Yeah. Of like Apocalypse Now. Like, oh, man, we're getting Marlon Brando in this movie. Oh, it's going to be fucking badass. Oh, I can't wait till he gets off that fucking helicopter.
Then he's just fucking drinking.
Who the fuck is this guy? That's not Marlon Brando. Send that guy back and get Marlon Brando. Oh, dude, that's Marlon Brando. It is?
Fuck.
Where's his motorcycle and his good looks?
Leather jacket, yeah. No, but like,
why does he just look like a sack of Burger King?
Sack of Burger King. But no, that's kind of like what he is like. And James Gandolfini's character kind of is, because they make he's this big badass.
And then he's badass 4 years ago.
And you find out he's this guy who's an alcoholic, who's like on parole. He's having like trouble with his wife and all this and that, and he's having trouble getting over it. And like Brad Pitt's just trying to keep his shit together. And like, actually, we should let's go back to the beginning. Pretty much, it's a very simple story, but it drags itself out. But I think it's mainly, this movie's more than anything a character study. And what it does is, okay, these two guys, the main character, which I don't remember his name, so I'm just gonna call him the main character. This junkie that's like, I think he's
Australian.
He's Australian, yeah. This junkie's Australian. There's this guy who runs there's clearly a back business, but they call him Squirrel, and he runs a tailor shop. Yeah, dry cleaning. There you go. And he says, all right, look, Ray Liotta's character, he runs this whole like underground gambling bit, this underground poker bit. He robbed it himself a few years back, but people forgave him because they liked him, and it wasn't their money. It wasn't their money. So after they beat him up and roughed him up, like, okay, well, whatever. And they say, well, we're gonna do it again. So they go in there, they rob it, and that's when Brad Pitt gets called in to hunt these guys down. And it's as simple as that, but it's very much just kind of like... It's
simple, but yeah, it's like you really get the story, and it never like leads you astray, but then it just more goes into like, really it's a character-driven movie.
It's just kind of like, we're going to sit here for 15 minutes with this character, get an idea what it's like for him. Now we're going to go over to these two characters over here, and they're just going to talk. These guys over here are going to talk. And it sounds like I'm talking shit on the movie. It
really looks like those movies, as far as like filmmaking goes, it looks like it was one of the fucking easiest ass movies to make. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we got about 5 shots in this movie that are going to be a little hard. I mean, not nearly as hard as, maybe a summer blockbuster movie with like explosions and shit, but I mean, somebody's going to get shot, so I mean, we got to prepare for this.
The parts of people get shot.
But the rest of it's just going to be like, let's just go to a diner and have 2 characters talk for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that'd be easy. Are we really going to show the rest of the diner? No. Just show this corner room. We don't even have to see the interior diner. Don't even need extra actors. Maybe we'll get a waitress to come by, but that's about it.
Well, I say a lot of people. I think some people are going to try and make like a Quentin Tarantino comparison to this movie.
It was it was movies that does fall on like the post Tarantino like era, I guess, of movie making.
But where Tarantino, it's kind of like the characters are very lively and like, hey man, yada yada, just talking, talking about pop culture. It's very much more of kind of like, I guess, sort of realistic, and not so much talk. I mean, I'd say Tarantino's dialogue sounds pretty natural for the most part. And like Death Proof, there's some that just like,
but they're very character, but they're esque.
You could tell who they all sound like. You could tell. I mean, let me find out a better way to say that. You could. They're all they all stand out. You remember Jules. You remember Jules Winfield. You remember Mr. Blonde. You remember. So. These characters, they're kind of like people, I guess, they seem very realistic, and they get across. There's even a part where they, the main character, eventually Brad Pitt comes to him and says, listen, I found out it was you. You got to help me out. You got to help me find Squirrel, otherwise you're going to get killed. And they almost play it off like, he's like, listen, no one's really bad people. This is just business, And Brad Pitt is, bad of a guy as he is in this movie, he doesn't really seem like it.
No, he really comes across as a nice guy still. He just still comes across as Brad Pitt on an average day.
Well, just like the way that movie ends, where he's just talking to the guy from Cabin in the Woods, the guy with the glasses and he's bald. I feel bad for all these actors I recognize.
Yeah, it's like, I know that guy, but
James Gandolfini and Brad Pitt are the only two I really could say off the top of my head. After the guy's like, yeah, well, we're shortening the money because the recession prices and this and that comes with all this reason. Then Brad Pitt gives this really this monologue on why why there's nothing wrong with greed and whatever. And then he closes it with, now shut up and give me my fucking money. Just goes to credits right after that line. It's like, I don't know if you could have more of a Brad Pitt ending than that there.
That was really badass. I like that ending a lot.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything after the credits, was there?
I didn't stay.
I had a pee so bad that I was like, I don't think I can make it.
After every podcast, I gotta pee. After every movie, I gotta pee.
Just like I don't know.
That was him running super fast.
It's me running at like the speed of Flash.
Yeah, it's not him going right down the movie. Tell me, when was the last time? I'm giving you a visual for those all you listening. When was the last time you saw a bloody Pepsi can?
I don't know if I've ever really even seen one.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah, anyway. It's diet. So, but anyway, moving on.
But, no, I just think that, I enjoyed the movie. I don't think it's an amazing movie. I think that there was just a little... Because I think the way to kind of do a Tarantino movie, it's kind of like Boondock Saints, where you do a Tarantino style, but you actually add a lot more action into it. Mm-hmm. So, the pacing's just a little bit smooth, because this was a pretty slow movie.
Or you do it kind of like In Bruges, or
yeah, well, that's because this movie kind of reminded me kind of like that In Bruges style, where it's like...
Very bleak.
It's very bleak. It's a
Bruges
drama.
Really funny.
It's a comedy.
I didn't think this one was much of a comedy.
It had a lot of comedy lines, though, I guess. Oh, not like a lot, but it had moments.
There's some moments, but I didn't think there's enough to... I thought this definitely tilted more in drama.
I'd say it's drama, action, comedy.
The parts I laughed, I really laughed, but that's
what I mean, though. I mean, I'm not saying... There's as much comedy as there is action in this movie, probably.
So, yeah, not very much, but the parts that are funny...
Maybe even more comedy than action, but...
The part where the car blows up and the guy gets knocked back, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a handful of, kind of dark jokes in it, and just the part with the dogs all shitting and farting in the car.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you think about it, it actually does have quite a bit.
Which the guy that played the Australian junkie, that guy's a really good actor. I hated the character,
but he really is.
That.
I mean, he's always just sweaty and dirty and filthy looking, and that's one thing I like about this movie. It's very gritty. I liked how there was no big buildings. Everything was kind of in small areas.
Where did that movie take place? Because it looked like they just got done with the apocalypse or something.
Well, I just think that's just what regular cities look like when you go to the kind of the crappier section.
I've been regular city. I'm just saying because wherever they were at,
either New York-ish. I think it was that kind of area. I don't think it was Chicago.
Not New York City, but maybe New York State, somewhere else.
No, it was in New York City, but just I think it wasn't it's not in Manhattan or anything like what you're used to seeing in movies.
Well, the reason I said that just because I think
that southern part where you start getting very close to New Jersey.
I think because you didn't see a lot of people just walking around. This looked like a very low budget film. Brad Pitt and James.
I think Brad Pitt was the most amount of.
Just James. It was also produced by him. But because I think Plan B is his production company. Mm-hmm. But James Gandolfini, he was only in the movie for 2 scenes, really.
Yeah. I think that was
They really advertised them. Granted, they're 2 long scenes with him. Lots of
even Brad Pitt. It's really good marketing because Brad Pitt's just right there on the fucking cover. But like in a sense, I mean, he is the main character, but he himself is only probably in the movie like a third, if not almost even probably about a third of the movie is Brad Pitt.
I'd say it's probably
because the first half an hour he's not even in it for the first half an hour.
What was the name of the main character? I forgot.
I don't know.
Clearly, it wasn't that fucking important. But he I don't mean the actor, but the character's name. Brad, I think that like the 2 of them kind of share the whole main character thing because he's the one that's kind of conflicted. He's the one that's unsure. He's like wondering if he's made for this business. Brad Pitt comes in knowing and he doesn't change at all. But he's the one that's ultimately. They're both kind of making the movie move in their own way. So I think it's those
movies though. If you really didn't have like Ray Liotta, Brad Pitt, and any of the other couple big actors,
this movie probably
it could have been like the most like
Netflix direct.
Well, I don't mean like that. I just mean like it could have been one of those movies you could see being made for like $20,000.
Oh, probably, yeah. Definitely.
I mean that, and then maybe the handful of like very like slow sped cameras. Other than because those obviously that was probably where some of the money went too.
That was like the part where like.
But like just including that, even if those scenes were just kind of like regular styled action, it's like that movie looked like a $20,000 movie.
All the corpse parrots in the theater were just going, "Oh, look at that!" When it was in slow motion, like, "Oh, they're that's what a lot of old people sound like to me. Corpse parrots. Like, look at that!
Had an acid flashback.
Yeah.
Should have not cracked my back there.
Yeah. Oh my god, just like that. Why do they need to show that? It's like, what the fuck?
I hate that. Like, the only thing about some old people, it's like even they probably come to the movies just as much as we do. They just feel like they just don't get out in public enough. Like, well, honey, it's been 6 months since we left the house. Might as well go see a movie. That seems like a pretty safe place to go. We won't get jumped, mugged, or raped there.
It's been a little while since the whole Batman thing, so
yeah, I was afraid to go out after that,
You never know when like some ginger-haired fucking loser is just gonna But he wasn't even naturally red.
When we were younger, we used to beat the fuck out of those kids, and they stayed in line, and then they served us later as we got older.
Times have changed.
The way America should be.
That fucking loser called himself the Joker, yet he dyed his hair fucking red.
I know.
Anyway, I don't want to get it. Just pissed me off. Anyway, moving back to this movie. This was a pretty good. I still thought this was a good movie. I thought
it was pretty good. I thought it was good. It could have been better, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a little bit more violence, some stuff like that. I mean, I really like the look. I like the grittiness of it, and I like just the fact that it just really did feel like a cheap movie. Mm-hmm. Really, if I wasn't seeing Brad Pitt and the rest of the guys, I could believe I was seeing just a really independent, like, it could be a $10,000 movie this day and age. Even.
It felt very independent.
And
it wasn't, but it felt very independent, which that was cool.
But no, I liked it. Not amazing, but I liked it. That's what I have to say.
I think I liked it a little bit more than you did. I mean, I could see myself watching it again.
I can see myself watching it again.
I can even see myself buying it. I really enjoyed it. It's not something I feel like I can watch all the time, but I wouldn't mind owning this movie. I wouldn't mind buying it. And I'd say it's probably, aside from Skyfall, it's probably, the movies I've seen, probably the one I like the most out right now, aside from Skyfall.
I mean, it's the one's just in theaters right at the moment?
Yeah, at the moment.
Do you like it more in Lincoln?
Let me put it this way. I got more...
That's a completely different... No.
Completely different movie. Well, both talkies.
Yeah, they both are talkie pictures.
But and still really visually interesting.
What's the other movie we saw? What did we see like last week?
Red Dawn.
Oh, I liked Red Dawn way more than this one.
I like this one more than Red Dawn.
No, I liked Red Dawn way more. I mean, I still like this one.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess it's just kind of like... it just seems like one of those movies. It's like... I just like movies that seem like very hard sells. Like, it's a very hard sell.
Well, that's what I love about Brad Pitt, though, is, I mean, he is in some big movies, don't get me wrong. Like, every third movie he comes out, he does a big one, but it seems like 2/3 of his movies, he does movies that you could tell he doesn't care if it doesn't make the money back.
He just wants to do it.
Yeah, he just wants to do it. And that's what I always like about Brad Pitt. Same with him and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Those two guys, I just like how, like, they'll be in a movie, and they don't have to be in a movie that's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're not the Will Smith.
Yeah. I think they are the guys they want to make a movie just because they want to make a movie. I mean, every once in a while they'll do one like, oh, this will fucking pay the bills. But overall,
because Brad Pitt, every once in a while he's always in one of those movies. But...
And you can't blame it. You can't blame him for that. Shit, he's got bills to pay too. Yeah. Shit, if it means if Mr. or Mrs. Smith means I'm going to get 3 more movies like this one or like Fight Club, then fuck it, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because those ones, when I think back on it, it's like, I can only think of a handful of ones he has done that I guess you could say are kind of commercial, mainstream. Let's try to make a lot of money off this.
Well, when you think about Brad Pitt, it's kind of weird because you think of him as he's one of the biggest actors in Hollywood.
Yeah, he's one of the biggest celebrities of mankind.
He's one of the most sought after people. He's probably really the Steve McQueen of our generation, really. But think of how many big super commercial blockbusters he's done recently. You think the Ocean's 11
Yeah,
series.
the Ocean's 11, and really I always feel like the first Ocean's 11 is the one that's really big. The other two just feel like they're just made for the fans more than anything else.
They kind of slid by, yeah.
Yeah, because they kind of like, I mean, most people didn't see the Ocean's 12 and 13, you know what I mean?
I did, yeah.
I mean, we saw them, but it just wasn't one of those ones, like, probably because, like, most people in our age, most people that are, like, under 20 weren't super interested in Ocean's 11 series.
What the fuck is the Mouse Pack?
But, yeah. For the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah. So, but no, but the...
I'm trying to think, like, what the hell was it? What was a really big movie he was in, like, in the last, like, handful of years?
I'm going to name, a big blockbuster.
Like a blockbuster, let's make a lot of money movie.
A blockbuster? I'm having trouble.
I can't even think of them.
I can't think of a big one. I know he's going to be in World War Z.
That's like one of the ones, that's like his next upcoming big blockbuster.
Which I was looking forward to it till I saw the trailer, but...
Because the only thing I can think of is, like, he was in Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
That wasn't his last movie, but...
But that was, like, that's not a huge, let's make a lot of money. I mean,
no, that will, because it's a Quentin Tarantino, but that's almost like a fluke. It's like, in a sense, Quentin Tarantino's movies, they normally would never have been those kind of movies. Let's say, make a lot of money, but people like him enough that...
This is going to sound like almost kind of like, the statement almost sounds like it canceled itself out, but Quentin Tarantino, he's my favorite director. Kevin Smith's is more my personal hero, but strictly in the sense of directing, Quentin Tarantino is my favorite. And I'd say, really, Quentin Tarantino, I don't mean this in a bad way, he's more of kind of like, I guess he's one of those things. He's like a mainstream kind of independent film, if that makes any sense. Do you get what I'm saying by that?
No, that makes total sense.
Because a lot of people who love indie film, like Tarantino, is so fucking like, yeah, no, there's more people out there that are probably way more ballsier and independent, but still at the same time, I think Quentin Tarantino finds that good middle ground and make it very entertaining, yet different than what we see from most things in like mainstream cinema.
No, that's how I always felt. Like, it's like Quentin Tarantino. He makes like almost like an independent movie, but one that will actually make a lot of money.
Yeah,
and I don't think he even shoots for that. It's just that just kind of happens. He's one of those kind of guys. He can make anything, and people will still go and see it. You know what I mean?
I actually considered. I feel a little bad saying this, but I was considering seeing Smurfs because there was a rumor saying Quentin Tarantino was voicing Brainy Smurf, and I was like.
That's
really?
Almost worth it.
That's almost worth it. I went on IMDb. Oh, he's not. Fuck it.
Never mind.
Fuck that.
Good thing.
Fuck it up its blue asshole. I'm not watching that piece of shit. So.
Yeah, save $750.
Yeah.
But speaking of like Quentin Tarantino, there was a Django Unchained. It was a different one, at least one I haven't seen.
I've seen that one.
It was just like a longer one, I guess.
I almost came watching it.
Yeah, because that one was really cool. I will have to say, I'm glad that there's just a bunch of different trailers of that. It really keeps you entertained. Unlike some movies, you just have the same fucking trailer every single time you go to see it.
This time around, because this had like 15 or 20 minutes of trailers.
Well, yeah,
usually
they really wanted to fill in the fucking gap here.
Usually it's like 10 minutes of trailers. It was like 15 or 20, and like it was like the trailer. There's like I think 3 or 4 trailers that I've seen before.
There's a lot of kind of like there's like that Mama trailer. And it's like
I'm so tired of the fucking Mama trailer.
It's same fucking trailer, and the movie just still looks stupid as fuck. I mean, I know horror movie trailers. The trailers always look crappy. You can never really judge a horror movie by its trailer, but. I'm sorry, that just looks like those, like... It looks like the... Guillermo del Toro, or however you pronounce his name, he really kind of reminds me of, like, the stereotypical modern-day horror director. Like, he created that style. I think he only produced it. Yeah, but I mean, like, it's his style, though.
Well, the thing is...
It's like he created that style, and that style is like this... You just see so much of that.
He hasn't really created that style. It's more like he produces a lot of that shit. Because he's
I don't know who else created that style, though.
I haven't seen everything he's directed. I haven't seen everything, but I mean, he did Pan's Labyrinth, which is a really good movie. It has horror elements to it, but it's more of a fantasy film, really, when it gets down to it. But it's more like, I mean, I think he did the movie Devil's Backbone, which I never saw.
Yeah, he did a bunch of he's done a bunch of movies, like, I never really seen them, but he just did a bunch of those, like, kind of horror, sort of horror.
He likes puppeteers and animatronic stuff. His next big movie is
and then there's always a bunch of CG, which CG, like, in a horror movie is just like, how is that scary?
Well, from going off what I've seen of his, he'll make a live action if he can. He's one of those people. He likes puppets and he likes suits, but if there's no way around it, he's going to go CG.
Yeah,
and I understand.
Well, in horror movies, I just feel like I don't know. It's just
I can't speak because because
you see like that mama thing, and you see like the mama creature, and like it's CG. How is that scary whatsoever?
He produces a lot of. I know he produces a lot of horror things. He doesn't always direct them, so I mean, I can't. Like I said, only horror film I could think off the top of my head that he did.
Well, he did that. I saw his last one or whatever, the one that had like the little gremlin like creature things in it.
He produced that.
He did.
He like wrote an early draft of the script and he produced it.
Okay,
and that was a remake.
Was in the credits a couple times.
That was a remake of a made-for-TV movie, I guess.
Oh well, that movie was kind of just one of those ones. Like they're almost like they're silly movies.
I don't know. I remember you. Were you looking forward to that? Was that one you?
No, it wasn't one I was looking forward to. It was just like, oh, horror movies. Oh, I'll go see it. Whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just
it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't anything amazing.
No, I get you.
But
then there's the trailer for the movie Dark Skies, which that looks kind of interesting.
Dark Skies?
Well, it looks like it looks like Insidious, but with aliens.
I don't fucking remember that one.
No, what happened is the trailer. It even said like from the producers of Insidious and Paranormal Activity, and it shows like the yuppie family just kind of like going about their days, and then all of a sudden like weird marks appear on them, and
that movie's fucking retarded as hell.
Birds start flying into the window, and then all of a sudden
that was one of the stupidest trailers I've seen in a long time.
When aliens attack yuppies, I'm assuming they're aliens because I
didn't think it was aliens whatsoever.
Well, the reason I say aliens because like when they find you and it's a white light coming through the house door. And then you see like this black.
I always thought it was like some because that kid was possessed or something.
I thought it was something like just something alien related because it was like some black slender figure pops up behind him, and I was just thinking Dark Skies, slender figure with a large head, white light. I was thinking aliens. Maybe
that movie looks so dumb. Mm-hmm. Then there was like the Parker trailer, which actually I thought of this last time we saw it, but I kind of didn't really look it up. But that Parker movie actually comes from this book series. It's the same one that Mel Gibson movie Payback I keep telling you to watch. It's the same character as that is.
Just a different... Oh, okay.
And that movie, there's also another movie back in the day. It's actually the same one as Payback, but it's based off the same book, But it's called Point Blank with Lee Marvin in it, and I actually just watched that one not too long ago. It's one of those, like, very... Like, it's late 60s movie, so it's very experimental and artsy and violent, and sometimes you don't know what's going on at the same time.
I don't think this one's going to be that.
No, but that guy, like, I watched...
That character.
On, like, the director's cut of Payback, there's, like, a special that talks, like, a 10-minute thing where that guy's just talking about all his books. And he's been making that Parker character for, like, the last, like, 40 years. Or something like that. He's been writing books. So, and actually, he has a bunch... You look on IMDb, and he's actually, like, credited in a lot of movies. So, apparently...
You know why that happened?
What?
Like, someone's doing Jack Reacher. What do we got? We got this Parker thing? Okay.
Oh, no, Payback is... I think that's one of the coolest Mel Gibson movies out there.
I'm not talking down on Mel Gibson. I just think it's real. I just think this is one of those
Parker
things.
One does. I will say that
I'm
one.
saying that one. I'm just saying not the Mel Gibson.
It does
one.
look a little. That one looks pretty Hollywood, unlike the kind of like the Mel Gibson one, especially even the Lee Marvin like Point Blank one. But just because I know that it's the same kind of character and same story, it actually makes me a little bit more interested in it than before. Like before, it's like, oh, it's Jason Statham, so you know it's gonna be at least somewhat good. You can't really go wrong with him. But now that I know it's that same character, it's like, I actually kind of want to see the movie actually a little bit more now.
It's probably going to have no continuity or anything with the other ones.
Well, no, I don't think...
I'm not trying to shit on...
I don't think those things are continuity stories, though.
Oh,
I've never read the books, but...
Like a 007 kind of thing, maybe?
Sort of. Because it's pretty much just that character, and he just has tons of books. And most ones where it's like, well, I started to write this character. You know those things where you always see old people talking, and they're like... And the next thing you know, money just started pouring in. They say, make more. And I was like, well, I got some free time, I guess. I guess I'll keep doing it.
I'll stop building my money house for a little while and just keep...
Apparently people like this Parker character, but I really wish I didn't name him that because I don't know how many times I've written down Parker parks the car.
Parker parked at the parking booth. The parking lot.
But there was that, then... There's just a buttload of trailers, but for some reason I don't remember.
There's the Hansel and Gretel witch.
Oh yeah, there's the Hansel and Gretel one, which is pretty much like Van Helsing with witches.
I don't know. I thought it would have looked like... I thought it looked like a combination of things. I mean, this is kind of in the same ballpark, but...
I think Van Helsing, like, it's super action-packed. Now Van Helsing, not only does he just kill vampires, he's got a machine gun, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it looks kind of like they're trying to make it look kind of like a Paul W.S. Anderson thing. Like they're trying to make it kind of like...
Well, that's kind of like even Van Helsing. Like, you think about that nowadays, because...
you don't put it together when you...
Strange enough, it's like, The Matrix was created, then Paul W.S. Anderson created, like, the follow-up style after, which sounds... It doesn't sound like they come in the... How they come in the connection, sort of, but there's just
one's
that,
a masterpiece and the other,
Yeah, and then Paul W.S. Anderson just started making that kind of, like, it's the same thing as like Underworld and all that kind of stuff. They all fall in that same kind of category.
And that's what this one looked like, which I'm kind of wondering. I'm guessing it's going to be a PG-13.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's those movies like, if it was a rated R movie, I'd maybe give it some credit. But since it's going to be PG-13, I don't know. That's where I kind of might lose me at.
Well, it didn't say what it was rated, but I'm guessing it's going to be PG-13. I'm guessing because there's the parts they imply that witches get their heads cut off, but I bet it's going to be one of those things, or like they dissolve to dust or something. Well, that was like the one thing about Van
Helsing. Like, I know that movie kind of gets a lot of shit, but I always thought that movie was kind of cool. But like, if it was rated R, though, it'd just be amazing.
Well, what I thought was cool about Van Helsing, a lot of like people who love old horror films will hate it, but I think what's kind of cool about it is they made all these references to like the Universal horror monster.
Well, yeah, it's like everything combined in one. And it's the same guy who did the Mummy remake too. So
yeah,
I just think that's, I don't know. I like Mummy, and then
Mummy's enjoyable. Yeah,
the first one's enjoyable. The second one's it's not bad. It's a little bit more Hollywood.
Third one's
not very good at all.
Which I was like,
third one's not done by the same guy though.
Yeah, that's Rob Cohen. The third one.
Which is still kind of sad because I do like a handful of his movies, but
he has some good ones. He did Bruce Lee.
He did Bruce Lee and Fast and the Furious. Mm-hmm. Those are two movies I really like, but.
And then what else was there's so many trailers. I'm having trouble remembering them all. There was
there's a lot. There's a lot of dumb movies.
There was still dumb movies is something to talk about.
But
there's the shit. What was it? It was the I'm sad and I'm a soccer playing for keeps or whatever.
That wasn't on mine.
That was. Oh, you know what? It was actually before the movie fucking starts. Here's a bunch of shit. It was actually on there. Never mind.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that even on where I wasn't paying enough attention there.
Playing for keeps or playing.
It was like in my Netflix thing.
Yeah, it was playing on that thing. Never mind. That was right before the trailer, the real trailer started.
Yeah, I like since you guys sent your hair anyways, get ready to be bombarded with commercials.
I was just kind of like sitting there like, gee, I kept on expecting the movie to start up. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's still fucking going on.
It started late too because I noticed it was like instead of starting at 2:30 for me, it started like 2:35. I was like, okay, there's more. Almost where you're like, go like, hello, sir, movie projectionist.
You're pulling out your like golden pocket watch has a chain connected. You're adjusting your top hat as you're looking at it. Excuse me, good sir. Yes, you up there.
That's the national time right here.
It's
down to the second.
Is the moving picture show ready to start? I have to get back to the editing room.
I believe you can't do your job properly. Let me go in there and show you.
Yeah. There's a penny for your trouble. Don't spend it all in one place now. Ha ha. Pull out your umbrella, you fly away like Mary Poppins. And
bust through the roof with it, just like this umbrella, just like unstoppable.
It's like fifth fucking time this week.
Why is that
why is there more than one of these fuckers? How's that even possible? No, but yeah, so alright, well, Kill 'Em Softly, pretty good movie. Something I want to say, and the last time I'll say it though, is a little off topic. Whenever I go to that movie theater and I see the Wreck-It Ralph trailer, part of me goes, "Oh, Wreck-It Ralph!" Oh, wait, I already saw it.
The poster.
Yeah,
it's like there's like that thing. It's just like almost like that thing. Like you want to believe.
Well, yeah,
you want to believe that there's such thing as that movie. Maybe if I see it, it's almost like that childhood thing comes out again. Like maybe if I see it a second time, it won't be the same movie.
Maybe if I watch,
maybe they just put the wrong reels up.
Maybe I watch it through this time. Leonardo DiCaprio makes it out of Departed. Maybe no, but yeah, it's just kind of like I see it for a second, like Rick. Oh wait, it sucked. I already saw it. It's almost kind of like in disbelief because I had such high hopes for that movie. It started off so good. I'm almost kind of like.
I just didn't feel like that was a movie you could fuck up too easily, and apparently, Disney proves once again that fucking up's not that hard.
Give us your money, you fucking nerd. No, that movie was genius. Though I'll say this: it wasn't good, but it was genius.
Oh yeah, it was such a good money scam because that's really what it was. It was just a full-on money scam.
Just get like a few characters that people are gonna really like. They're gonna go see the movie just for that reason, just for the hope, saying, well, if they're willing to be that dedicated, they probably must be dedicated to make a good movie or whatever. I'm like, nope, never mind.
No. What other movies? There's a handful of movies in theaters too that I know. There's that Life of Pi movie,
which I hear is
good things.
I want to see it.
I'd like to see it. Just other movies keep coming up.
Life of Pi, which is on my list. I mean, not urgently on my list.
Still there, strangely enough. That seems like a movie I'm surprised it's actually still there. But
they're talking. I heard some. That's probably there because I heard a possibility of Academy Award stuff.
Yeah, I say that seems like a movie that old people would keep it like alive still.
Life of Pi, Flight, which those do seem like Academy Award.
There's nothing coming
contenders.
out next week. There's just that Playing for Keeps is the only movie coming out.
What's the what's I gonna say? What time are we at right now?
We're at 39. 39.
All right, maybe we got time to talk about this then. I was actually just thinking something. They're talking about because I listened to a lot of Smodcast, and in the last one, Kevin Smith said that if you're a filmmaker, different companies, different production companies will send out their DVDs.
Oh, you talk about the one where you just talk about the movies he just got that they send him out to him.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about. I'm not going to go so much about that, but I want to mention this because he said they sent him Dark Knight Rises, which makes you think, okay, it'll probably be nominated for like sound stuff and like cinematography and whatnot, and maybe editing.
Well, because what did he get? He got Argo, Dark Knight, and Cloud,
and Cloud Atlas.
Yeah,
which the first two those make sense. I mean, the Cloud Atlas and even Dark Knight Rises make Argo and
Dark
Cloud
Knight
Atlas
Rises makes sense.
Dark Knight Rises makes sense to me, but in a sense, like it's kind of like one of those things like.
I know it's not going to be anything but those like strange I call those like those extra categories.
I think it might though, because the thing is,
it's going to have like Return of the King thing.
It might have the Return of the King thing, which is one of those things like, I'll be honest, Dark Knight Rises my least favorite of the Batman trilogy, but I still really liked it, and it's one of those things. I'm kind of wondering because like. A lot of people within the industry were pissed off Dark Knight didn't win anything for Academy Award, or won some stuff.
So they're gonna give it like they're gonna do like the Martin Scorsese thing, like we finally gave you that award you deserved like for the last 30 years.
Yeah, because that's why they suddenly added like 5 extra slots. Yeah, so sorry. That's why they added the 5 extra slots to the roster for the Academy Awards. A lot of people say it's because Dark Knight wasn't nominated. Like, all right, well, let's just throw it in there. And then Inception was nominated, which I'll be honest, I thought Dark Knight.
Like, sorry, fella, here you go, Chris, Inception.
So maybe it'll be one of those things like Dark Knight. I don't know if it's gonna win. I don't think it'll win Best Picture, but
because technically it's one of those ones like really, if you just take away the Batman fanness from Dark Knight Rises, it is a really good movie. Because really, my only complaints they're only Batman fan complaints mostly than anything.
I have 2 complaints strictly in the sense of storytelling. We'll actually. Talk about this
because Batman comes out next week, so we'll do a.
Well, let's talk about we'll talk about the good things of Batman about that because this right here, this is very quick.
So we could just well, whatever.
Well, it's very.
Okay, there's so much Batman you could talk about Batman for hours.
Yeah, there's 70 years worth of Batman. No, I'll make this real quick though. My thing is it's because if you've been paying attention, our first podcast was the Dark Knight Rises one, and that was only like 30 something minutes because we were both like. Do we spoil it? Do we not? And I was like, fuck it, we're just going to talk about the whole movie now. But so now I'll just say some of the things I wanted to say but didn't say out of afraid of spoiling it. My overall problem with the movie, strictly, not so much in the sense of being a Batman fan, but just strictly in the sense of storytelling, is I know you're Batman. How? I just looked at you. I could just tell. You have that I'm Batman look to me, So that part with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, how we could just figure out he's Batman just from looking at him. That's just a major... I don't care if it's this orphan code thing. It's just... That's just bad storytelling, in my opinion. Yeah. Not enough to destroy the movie, but enough to make me kind of like, really? That's the best you got?
It would be better if he just broke in on him changing. Like, what the fuck? Because you never see Batman change, just like Superman. Well, Superman, you see him, like, rip the shirt, but you don't really see him, like, sit there, pull his shoes off.
Well, Superman doesn't have to. He's really fast. Batman,
but Batman, Batman's got to take some fucking time to get that all together.
Alfred, get the zipper.
Well, I don't know why you put that on your ass, Craig. It's the only place we had left. I'd be vulnerable if it wasn't there.
Exactly. Now slip the ass pads in. You never know. The Joker might try and stab me in the ass.
Have you ever been pushed over and fell on your ass? It really hurts.
Yeah. Imagine being stabbed in the ass. What? Don't give me that look, So no, but anyway, there's how the fuck did we get on? How did we get on that?
They would just caught him changing. Right, you just never see it because you see.
That seems more like a girl's way to find out,
Like what?
That seems a lot more,
Make it fucking like Mallrats. He just kind of flies through and head busted.
In a changing room. Yeah. No, my thing is
his cock's just hanging.
Yeah. Still got PG-13. He pulled a lot of strings,
So there's even a cock slap in it.
Yeah. No, it even has the wham, pow, boom, cock slap pops up. Yeah. No, but there's there's that, and then there's the whole double rise thing, which the double rise being the whole part, because I have no problem that he got his back broken, he had to work his way to become Batman. It's just the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Batman wouldn't quit.
Well, that's just a Batman fan.
Yeah, that's a Batman fan.
Strictly in the sense of telling a story, telling a story. It's kind of like it took him no time to get it took him a little bit of time, but it took no effort for him to get back into the game. He just quickly okay, I got this mechanical brace thing, and I did some push-ups, and I'm good to go. So it's one of those things he could have just been fighting crime the whole time.
He did have that bracing. I was watching The Dark Knight Returns again.
He has that bracing on his arm.
I was like, oh yeah, he fucking has that on that too.
No, that movie does make a lot of little nods here and there. I mean, nods that only a fan would get. But still, sometimes those nods aren't really enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But like, and that's, I mean, don't be wrong. It's a great movie. I really like it.
It's just, I really just wish that they would have just, there's a handful of just side characters in there that could have been real Batman characters.
That like, for instance, the cop that wants to that's chasing down Batman at the beginning, saying, "We're gonna do what Jim Gordon can never do. We're gonna catch Batman." That guy. I believe his name was Eckhart. If I remember correctly, I think his name was Eckhart. Eckhart is the name of the cop that takes Jim Gordon's place in Dark Knight Returns. That was a chick, though. And it's like, you're one step there. Just, just get an actress in there instead of a guy. It's just like, it's cool you made that nod, but why do the half step?
Don't half-ass it, you know what I mean? You're Christopher Nolan. You have a limited budget, and who the hell's going to tell you what to do, almost?
Yeah, why go that half step? You can go that full step and just make that the character from Dark Knight Returns. Nobody would have seen that coming, and fans would have found that awesome. I would have found that awesome, because I never would have expected to see Eckhart from Dark Knight Returns, which I guess she was in a sense, but not really the way you expected. And then another thing is, I mean, I'm not going to say, like, they didn't use Penguin, they didn't use Riddler. It's more of, like, there's, like, small characters.
There's, like, that commando guy. Could have been Deadshot on Bane's team.
I seriously thought that was Deadshot. Okay, goatee, has a bullet belt, must be Deadshot. Wait, it's not Deadshot. And, like, he's worked with the League of Assassins. And you don't got to go into each of their backstories.
But you could just even if you just had a couple of them in there.
You could just, like, okay, there's a fucker with a bow and arrow. That's Merlin. There's an Asian chick that knows Kung Fu. That's Shiva. Just things like that. Things that would be easy to snap in. Plus, it would have given more of a Batman sense to it. And I think that covers the general problems strictly in the sense of a Batman fan. Batman, and plus, I don't think the whole... this covers it in the sense of my problem with him quitting, that's both in the aspect of storytelling and as a Batman fan.
And as just the movie pacing.
Yeah, the storytelling in the movie, that's what I meant. Yeah, but just because it's like that's time he could. That's a couple action scenes we could have got with him as Batman. It's like he never quit. He was just doing things elsewhere.
Well, that's the way that I always thought they should have done it. Is like maybe he wasn't in Gotham for those 8 years, but maybe he was out either like
on a world tour.
Yeah, like because like I always think those are some of the coolest Batman stories. Is when Batman's actually not in Gotham, where he's in Asia or he's in South America or he's even in the Middle East, like in the one where Robin dies.
Yeah,
I always think that's just cool. I just like that. Like I guess it's just fresh and it's just like it's not Gotham. Hey, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, and it was also the whole part with it could have like opened up on him like just finishing up a case with another villain.
Yeah, just something quick and simple. Pretty much, I'm gonna use this since we talked about Van Helsing. You know how the Van Helsing starts out?
Yeah, he's going after Hyde.
Yeah, and that's just the very beginning of the movie. You don't really know exactly why he's going after him, other than the fact that if you know Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of kind of story. But it's just I like how it just jumps into that, and that's not the main story, but that's just how you get like an intro to it.
He's been tracking someone down for maybe say Black Mask or Penguin, someone like that.
Yeah, like even Penguin. Penguin could just be like escaping to like his like rich friends in another country, and Batman's tracking him down. Like,
and then he sees that he has connections to Bane, which makes him go back to Gotham.
Yeah, it's just like it's real simple. We don't look at that guy. It's like it's so fucking simple,
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. I'm not trying to, like Christopher Nolan's like, what the fuck do you look at my mansion made of money? You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things like, I mean, it's like, I'm not trying to be like, I can make a better fucking movie, but I just
always felt that The Dark Knight Rises, though it's a really good movie, I felt like it was a step back for like the Batman-ness.
Because the first two just had so much Batman in them. Yeah. They have like, even Batman Begins, I mean...
And that's the one where they feel like, okay, we can kind of like, let's like do it like a different way. We don't have to just go Batman, 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 Batman everywhere. Just like, we'll build up into the Batman.
And they're the halfway, he doesn't put on the suit to the halfway point, but it still felt like Batman. And it was just something we didn't see of Batman before. And at the same time, it's like they use characters you never would have expected to see in a Batman movie. They use Zaz. They use Flask. Which, that's one of those characters. How many people went into Batman saying, I really hope Detective Flask is in this. And I'm not meaning that in a bad way, but it's one of those things.
You just don't expect that character.
You don't expect a villain who is in like only a few issues to be in this movie. And then Carmine Falcone, and then like Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow. I mean, how many villains they got in that movie was awesome. I mean, granted, Zaz was just a cameo, but the fact they acknowledge that character's existence, that's pretty awesome.
No, yeah.
And then, we come to Dark Knight, which really only has like 4 villains, which it had...
Scarecrow, Two-Face, Joker,
and then Maroni.
Oh yeah, Maroni. Yeah.
Though no, I'm not really going to count Maroni so much because in the comics, no lie, Maroni is the guy that threw the acid in Two-Face's face. Mm-hmm. So that's a character, and they got his name down. They remembered it, so that's something right there.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, it's just one like he was a predominant character throughout that movie. Granted, he's not a character they're going to make an action figure off of, but he's still a predominant character, and he was in the comics, so you got to give it credit for that. And this is just one where it just really felt like it took a few steps back. Like, okay, there's a character named Eckhart and Talia. I mean, really, when you think about it, there's just as many characters in this one as there was in Dark Knight.
I guess just because like, they don't, it's even like Catwoman. It's just like they don't even call her Cat. It's like that's not really that hard of a word to say. Is it that difficult?
I think I just said the Catwoman has been here. She's got to say my name is Catwoman. Yeah, just like the Catwoman's been here.
Yeah, like we don't really know what she's called, so let's just call her Catwoman. Like that old-fashioned way of how characters get their name.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean. I know we're kind of, I guess this is just kind of like the Dark Knight Rises retrospect on that, just because this is going back to our first podcast, but at the same time, though, there's certain things I wanted to say on, and plus it's coming out, by the time this is out, I think the DVD will probably be out too. So.
Well, DVD comes out Tuesday.
Alright, this is probably up a little before
and
then.
And I was thinking, there's supposed to be, I think they kind of went, we kind of fucked up on the special features last time. Because I saw, like they're throwing crap. Well, they're throwing, like, that documentary. I think it came out on, like, History Channel or something. Like, it was about, like the history of the Batmobile and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. They're throwing that on the disc. They got a bunch of other crap, too. I think because they realized, they're like, we got this stuff. Let's just throw it on there.
Oh, okay.
So we can talk about all the special features.
All right. Well, there you go. I mean, I guess when Dark Knight Rises comes out, we could probably do a second part to a Batman retrospect.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That'd be cool. This is just us kind of like saying the things we wanted to say on Rises but didn't. But anyway. But yeah, what time are we at now?
We're at 51 minutes.
51 minutes? Want to call it good?
Yeah, it's probably a good place to call it a good day. Make sure you go to oldmanorange.com, check out the website, send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Like us on
Facebook.
Yeah, I guess you can like us on Facebook, like iTunes, comment, blah, 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 all that good stuff.
There's links to it all on the Old Man Orange website. And also, I'm going to whore out for a second. Check out my comic book Grit. It's on Facebook. It's you could also find a link to it through Old Man Orange. Well, actually, go to oldmanorange.com. It's on there. But you could also go to my personal Facebook page, and through there's a link
on oldmanorange.com. It leads to all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a good place to call it a day. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And we'll talk about more Batman later.
See you guys later.